Happy New Year, everybody. How is everybody feeling? Welcome to 2022. This is such an exciting time of year, and this is our very first live coaching event. And I couldn't be more grateful and more full of joy for all of you being here, being part of this community, and allowing me to be your guide. It's going to be a great year. I have so many fun ideas to help you continue to up level your progress, to help you learn about yourself, and to take it to the next level this year, because why not, right? We're always growing, we're always evolving. And so I just want to thank each and every one of you for being here. And before we get started on today's coaching, I wanted to just kind of, since it is our first coaching of the year, to share with you some ideas to how to approach this first month, this full week of the year, in a healthy way to really set yourself up for success. I know how crazy it is coming off of the holiday season and then starting up the new year with wanting to do a lot, wanting to, push the gas full force towards your goals in all areas of your life. But also, if you're feeling a little overwhelmed or like you need more time to work your way up to that, I just want to give you permission that it is okay to start the year slower. I feel like the way that our society runs, it's like, we just do everything full out at a high speed all the time. And really, it's like the holidays were crazy and January can be crazy. So like, where do we get that chance to rest, recollect our feelings, our thoughts, and to reflect, to even know how to go about the next year, right? So this is your permission, whether you need this week, next week, or the whole month of January to, kind of get settled, you have the permission to do that. And it's only going to help you more afterwards. I know I certainly took some time to collect my thoughts, to journal. And I'm going to be sharing some resources with you guys as well if you would like to take the next step and do some journaling on brainstorming what goals you would like to achieve for 2022, maybe just taking a look at the first month or the first quarter, and then just breaking it down on paper will really help to give you some clarity that you can bring into our coaching sessions, into your programs here, so that everything aligns really nicely. I know that I've seen some of you for your reassessments before the new year, so we had a chance to do that together. But if I haven't yet seen you, this would be something really great for you to kind of get the thoughts rolling, so that way you feel really prepared going into your next phases of your program. So yeah, I just wanted to mention that it is okay to start a little slower, ease your way into it, and I'm here to support you. So any questions that you have, we have a lot of fun things coming up. So let's jump right into it. I mean, it's no surprise everybody's getting sick left and right, thank goodness for this virtual option. I'm so grateful for it. But we cannot deny the fact that, cases are going up right now with COVID, the new variant, traveling, people coming back from travel, people getting out of, Christmas with COVID, and so on. So I thought this was a really appropriate coaching for today. I want you guys to be healthy. I want you to start the year off strong. And if you are recovering from being sick, or you know someone near you who's sick, these are tips that are going to really help you to boost up your immune system, to kind of create that barrier for yourself through multiple areas of your lifestyle, so that you can stay healthy and keep on going with your routine, so you're not sidetracked. So we're going to be talking about mostly nutrition. There's so many fun things. Nutrition is magical and it can really add so much to your immunity. So we're going to mostly be focusing on nutrition, but I will also be touching on some recovery tips for you, as well as what you can do movement based, and just a couple other daily habits. And if you have any questions at all about anything that I mentioned today, please reach out. I will be following up with some resources in here with some links if you want to know where to buy some of these things, or you have a question about a product. So stay tuned for that. And then, as always, this will be emailed to you in the replay at the end of the week. So let's jump into it. Now, when you're dealing with COVID, a cold, a flu, whatever the case is, obviously you're going to set yourself up for success when you are preparing your own meals at home. So I'll just start with that. The more that you prepare your meals yourself, you have more control over how nutritious the ingredients are, the quality of the ingredients, and of course, the sanitary element of it, that you are, doing it yourself in a clean home. So I highly recommend that, load up at the grocery store or order online, whatever you need to do, and try to spend most of your time eating your meals at home. That's a really great tip. You definitely want to try to load up on a lot of nutrients that are going to be naturally immune boosting. And so I'm going to go through that with you. The ones that are going to be more antiviral, with properties of antiviral, are the following. So number one is camphorol. Okay, so this can be found in spinach, cabbage, dill. Another one you want to think about is I cannot say it. Quercetin, I believe. Okay, so I'm going to write these out for you because I don't even think I'm saying these right. Now, this particular flavonoid is the type of nutrient it is, can also be found in dill, but it can also be found in onion, oregano, and chili pepper, even apples, leafy green vegetables, as well as broccoli. Okay, so that's quercetin. Then we have hesperidin, okay, which is found in oranges, grapefruits, your citruses, lemon, tangerines, the mandarins, right? So this is another great flavonoid that you want to keep in mind in a lot of citrus fruits. Okay, then we have oleuropein, which is found in olives and extra virgin olive oil. So think about this when you're preparing like a salad or you're finishing your veggies. These are really great and important nutrients to include as well. Then catechins, and epicatechins, which are found in, sorry, I'm totally saying this wrong, catechins, I believe, and this is found in green tea. All right, so this is going to be essential when you're choosing, maybe what types of tea or warm drinks to have, especially if you're dealing with like a sore throat or congestion. Those warm beverages are great, so you can get yourself a nice green tea. Okay, then we have lauric acid, which can be found in unrefined coconut oil. And think of this when you're baking, maybe you make a granola, and instead of using ghee, for example, maybe you can switch that out for coconut oil. You can even add this into your morning coffee. If you guys have ever heard of like a bulletproof coffee, right, where you might put like the butter, grass-fed butter, or something like that, maybe you can switch that up and blend it with some unrefined virgin coconut oil. And that's going to give you that amazing benefit for antiviral properties. Okay, now moving on from that, I'm sure you're not going to be surprised. Another nutrient that you really want to focus and double down on during this time is protein, which is really, a constant, right? It should always be a focus for us. But just to reinforce that idea, proteins have the amino acids that allow us to build up our immune system, right? That's what allows our cells to break down and then generate, which is what helps us to, helps turn over the cells and helps us to get rid of what doesn't serve us and rebuild what does. So make protein a focus of every single food or feeding opportunity: breakfast, lunch, dinner, your snacks. Try not to skimp on the protein right now because it is really important. The ones that are even especially more important to focus on would be the amino acids taurine, carnosine, and anserine, and creatine. And now these can particularly be found in beef and lamb. So something to think about if you're someone that, you eat a lot of like turkey and chicken, that's great. But maybe you could pick up some beef and lamb and just make sure you incorporate a little bit of that, just because it has particular amino acids that you're not going to find in other types of animal proteins. So keep that in mind. Some other tips in terms of overall, different types of foods. are spices. Okay, so there's so many that come to mind, and I can, list them out for you guys. I'm sure you're familiar with turmeric. Okay, that nice bright orange color. You can add it into all of your cooking. Spice blends, you can add it to your coffee, you can add it to baked goods. Just think about seasoning your food as much as possible. Even adding in fresh or ground ginger is amazing. Cayenne, black pepper, that spiciness, those have really strong properties to protect your immune system. You can also use a blend of fresh or dried herbs, particularly rosemary, oregano, chili pepper, and garlic. Garlic is amazing. Fresh is always going to be a little bit more potent. So think about how you can incorporate those into your meals when you're cooking at home. Something else that I think is just a really important protein, pantry staple is bone broth, right? So you can actually buy bone broth ready-made in little cartons or in cans really easily, and you can make that and just sip on that, warm it up, and have it like a tea almost. Or you can also use it when you're just cooking other things, like let's say you're making lentils or a stew or of some sort where you might normally add water. Switch that out for bone broth, and it is jam-packed with nutrients. And the way that it's made is taking the bones of an animal, and it's cooked down over and over at a high temperature for a long period of time, where the nutrients from inside of the bone and the collagen is extracted, and then you get the benefits of that. And so it's not the same as bone broth. So if you can get your hands on some it's not the same as chicken broth or like a stock, I should say. So if you can get your hands on bone broth, amazing. And you can also make it yourself very easily if you have a pressure cooker or an Instant Pot. I just take a whole chicken. I put it in the pot with a bunch of veggies, some of the veggies that I just mentioned to incorporate. Lots of spices. I'll put in a little bit of water, and I'll even just put in some broth in there, and then you cook it. And then you also need apple cider vinegar because that helps it break down. And then you cook it on pressure high, depending on how big your chicken is, for about an hour or so, and then removing the bones. And then what you have left, that broth, is your bone broth because it's extracted from the bones inside the chicken. So it's important that you do this with the bone in. And if you can use a whole chicken, even better, because there's all of that good stuff in there that you want. So if you want the recipe for that, I will definitely link that for you guys down below. It's super simple. Moving on to some other nutritional efforts that you can make to boost your immunity is thinking about your microbiome, your gut health, right? 60% of our immune system is inside of the gut, which is majority of it, right? So if things aren't going well inside of the stomach, inside of our digestive tract, it's higher likely that we're going to get sick or we're not going to feel as good as possible. So that's why it's really important to make sure that you're focusing on your gut health, especially now as any other time, right? So some ways that you can do that are focusing on both prebiotic and probiotic foods. So what does that mean? Prebiotics are going to be some different types of foods such as dandelion greens, Jerusalem artichokes, garlic and onion are also prebiotics, leeks, asparagus, artichokes, bananas, also apples. So we have a couple different fruits, cognac root, like shirataki noodles. If you guys have ever seen those are great kind of as like a pasta alternative. Cocoa, burdock root, flax seeds, jicama root, and seaweed. So all of these are going to be prebiotics, and prebiotics actually are the food for the probiotics, right? So that we're just talking about two different types of bacteria that live inside of your gut. So we want to be able to feed them with these foods. And then on the other hand, the actual bacteria themselves, the probiotics, can be found in various fermented foods such as plant-based yogurts like coconut yogurt, kefir, sauerkraut, tempeh for a plant-based option, miso, which you'll find in a lot of Asian cooking. Kimchi is amazing. Pickles are great. And even some grass-fed raw dairy options like sheep's milk, goat's milk, those types of products. Like if you think of manchego or feta, these are different types of cheeses. Those are going to have some good probiotics as well that will help with the prebiotics in your gut to create a nice barrier for, any bugs that try to make their way in that shouldn't be. Okay, so that's your microbiome. A few other things to think about, maybe, some things now to maybe avoid or to minimize during this time is going to be your processed foods and specifically added sugar. Sugar is actually going to suppress your immunity and it worsens viral infections when you have them. So it's really important that you check out your pantry and your fridge and things that you have normally that you might be reaching for. If they are higher in sugar, they have added sugar, and it doesn't matter if it's brown, maple syrup, white sugar, right? The more we can minimize that along with starches, because, starchy foods like a lot of, breads and heavy type of flour foods with gluten, those together are just going to make it a lot more difficult for your body to stay healthy during this time. It's just kind of putting a blockage. So clear those out, try to minimize them, along with alcohol. So, hopefully we had our fun during the holidays. It's probably a lot of us have had more alcohol during that time, but now, especially as we're trying to scale back and really take care of our health, see if you can abstain completely or just limit your alcohol, as that also can just deplete nutrients faster inside of your body. Moving on to outside of the kitchen and how you're feeding yourselves, let's talk about sleep. All right. Obviously, sleep is crucial during this time when you are trying to either get healthy, recover, and heal, or you're trying to prevent sickness. Remember that when you sleep, this is your time to restore and heal your body. This is where all the magic happens. So the more that you can dedicate yourself to relaxing the body, de-stressing, whether that's, picking up an earlier bedtime, winding down sooner, less screen time, taking more time to meditate or breathe throughout the day, right? Everything to just take away more stress. That is really going to help you to be the strongest that you can be right now. Another thing you want to think about is having some type of regular movement routine, right? So if you've taken maybe a little bit of a break, again, maybe you are feeling ill or you are trying to avoid it, try not to be so hard on your body. Of course, especially if you're feeling fatigued or just not feeling yourself, but at the same time, try to keep it moving in some way, like we've always talked about. So maybe it's an outdoor walk. If for those of you that are in Miami, obviously it's always a great time of year really to walk outside. So get outside, get some sun on your face, take a nice leisurely walk with a nice pace. You could also do yoga where you're kind of moving in all of these different positions. It's really good for your circulation, keep things flowing. Taking a stretch like our coaching from last week, you can simply, if you're just not feeling up to a workout, you can certainly spend 10, 15 minutes on a nice warm-up routine to get the joints moving so that your energy isn't stagnant in one spot. That can make you feel worse. And then if you're avoiding the gyms right now, I totally hear you because, it can definitely be a hot zone for spreading this. But you can definitely do home workouts. You don't need much equipment. You can get some mini bands. I know a lot of you have just basic equipment, a couple weights, or keep it body weight. And again, you can look back at some of our previous coaching events. And I showed you how to do a full workout with using minimal equipment if you don't have any at all. So there's many things that you can do, but keeping that rhythm in your body is super helpful. It's going to just keep your metabolism in a constant cycle. And that's really going to help you instead of, just not moving at all or staying inside all the time, right? So we want to keep some type of rhythm in the body as well. Another thing I want to mention is washing hands, right? This is a simple one. It might seem kind of obvious, but don't underestimate the washing of the hands with just soap and water before the hand sanitizer. So although you might be out and about and you see the hand sanitizer everywhere, certainly that's helpful to kill bacteria, but I would recommend trying to wash your hands with soap and water first. especially like when if you are going out to eat or something like that, before you eat your meal, just head to the bathroom and use the soap and water in the bathroom instead of just the hand sanitizer, because the hand sanitizer is alcohol and it's just killing all the bacteria. So you have like nothing. And remember, based on our conversation with the gut health, we do need some bacteria, right? So with washing with soap and water, it's going to be a more gentle process, and you can protect your own bacteria without kind of cleaning yourself out completely. It's kind of like the same idea when you're put on antibiotics. It's not always the best for you. It might kill the bad guy, but we clean yourself out completely. So we don't want to be at risk that way either. So soap and water is great. Keep washing your hands. Now, some supplements that you might want to think about to kind of just add in to your routine would be a multivitamin, vitamin C, vitamin D3, zinc is super important. Probiotics. I know a lot of you take a daily probiotic. So if you're not already doing that, I highly recommend adding that in either at the beginning of the day or at the end of the day. Something else that I've been personally stocking up that I've talked to most of you guys about is a brand of like a preventative tablet that has elderberry in it, and it's called Sambucol. So you just kind of take it when maybe you feel like you might be getting sick or you've been around someone that's sick, and it really does kind of help build up your immune system just a little bit more with the nutrients that they include in there. What else? The last thing I just wanted to mention too is just going back to the meals that you can prepare at home. Something else that I found that has been working really well for me and my loved ones is just loading up on smoothies. So again, this is something we talk about all year long, but if there's any time to get into it, make it now, because with the smoothie, remember, you can add in so many of these different nutrients that I've mentioned in a really easy way that doesn't require you to cook. Very easy cleanup, very easy prep time. All you need is the ingredients. You can put in multiple fruits, multiple veggies, the flavonoid ones that I mentioned, a lot of citrus, banana for your prebiotics, protein to get that protein in. You can either add in a little bit of an unsweetened orange juice for even more vitamin C, or you could do an unsweetened nut milk. Some fats, maybe some coconut oil in there, right? So you're getting everything you need blended up, and then start your day with that, with maybe your supplements. And that is an amazing meal, and it's really going to keep you full, but most importantly, it's going to protect your immune system, right? So that's just another tip that I wanted to add in. I wanted to make sure I didn't forget that. But again, limiting your sugar intake, processed foods, limiting your alcohol, loading up on the flavonoids, like all of your colorful veggies, dark leafy greens, your citrus, a lot of spices and bone broth when you're cooking at home, maybe some smoothies, a lot of protein. Think about the fermented probiotics and the prebiotic foods that I mentioned. Working on your sleep and making sure that that is top priority, as well as getting in some regular movement, which I know you guys are already mostly on top of. So just keep that front of mind. And that is all I got for you guys today. So I know that was loaded with a lot of information. So I will be doing a little follow-up with some of the key points, as well as if you need any suggestions on particular brands, I'm here to help. And you can also find the recipe down below. So I hope that was helpful, guys. I hope you all stay really healthy and safe out there. Just hang in there. I know it's rough, and I know that, we're concerned about our loved ones as well. So we will be just sending all the healing and positive vibes out there, and we're going to get through this. So until next time, I will see you guys soon, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye.